It's over President Paul Biya over Cameroon. And it's exactly 3 minutes past 11. And you're still on and tuned on to Diamond 88.7 FM. It's that time where we give you Editor's Hangout, that platform for journalists, by journalists, yes, and for humanity, society, and country. And we're glad to know that you're there tuned on to your shining supreme radio station, Diamond 88.7 FM. We are broadcasting live from the International Media Center over the Bright Broadcasting Limited here in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. You listening can be a part of the conversation. In due course, we will be opening our studio lines this great morning before noon for us to discuss issues. Yes, just as I opened up with the statement of Paul Biya, what is happening to him, any development from Cameroon. We'll touch on this, and we will not go far away from development and circumstances from Rivers State, Rivers politics. What is happening ever since the elections got conducted and ended? That is the local government polls in Rivers State. How far so far? Development stories, reports here and there. We'll touch on this extensively. And you listening, okay, can also be a part of this conversation. Very shortly, we will be opening our studio lines. 0913 6556 864 is the number. And you can also send your WhatsApp messages via 0913 6556 864. While call in 0913 6556 952 08000 887. We are live on all our social media plugs. Diamond 88.7 FM, www.diamondfm. Yes, is still the website www.diamondfm.net. We will be talking, and just as we used to preach, should you choose to make your positions known, please go straight to the point, as we won't give room to name calling or inciting words on the program. I have live in the studio as usual, regular voices, and these voices are not tired yet to see that society gets better. I have live. Yes, I call him a comrade, but he's also a journalist. He's not tired yet. The chief editor of yes, Orient Max, Actual Max. He is no other person than Alhaji Akinlolu Abayomi. Good morning.
Good morning, the anchorman, my brother and friend, Mr. Joseph, and listeners at home.
It's a pleasure having you once again.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, my brother and colleague Abiodo Akiwumi is also here. Good morning.
Good morning, Joseph, and good morning to you wherever you are picking the signals of Diamond.
Yes, I have our producer and general manager, person of Mr. Michael Abiodo Olarewaju. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to our listeners all over the world.
We are glad to have you once again. Yes, just as we heard it, we are live. So your location shouldn't be a barrier. You can be a part of this conversation. We're also live on YouTube, okay? By searching for us on Diamond FM Ilorin. We are starting our conversation this great morning, looking into development from Rivers. Yes, the development here says the Rivers State Governor, in person of Similalayi Fubara, has inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the arson, killings, and destruction of property at various local government council secretariats in the state. Fubara inaugurated a 7-member commission at the executive chambers of the government house in Port Harcourt on Tuesday. This was contained in a statement issued by the chief press secretary to the governor, Nelson Chukudi, and sent to newsmen yesterday. The commission, that has 1 month to conclude its assignment, has Justice Ibiwenge Minakiri as a chairman, Mrs. Inyingi Brown as the secretary, and Uzo Ikenga as the counsel. I want us to take a listen to the voice of the governor. He said something, and after he speaks, we'll return again to proceed with the conversation.
It has become very clear that rather than get close to the path of peace, that this state is gradually turning to, would I say, a kingdom where law and order are no longer the order of the day. And we can't fold our hands and allow such a thing to happen. So I've decided to take this action to find out the immediate and remote causes of this, and most importantly, to matter the personality involved, we must bring them to book.
Yes, that's the voice of Governor Similalayi Fubara. Yes, after inaugurating the Council of Inquiry to look into the development and the arson, killings, and the unrest recorded in Rivers State of recent. And in reacting, the Federal Capital Territory's minister in person of Nyesom Wike, in his reaction, accused Governor Fubara of anti-party activities. Wike said Fubara supported the Action People's Party, the APP, in sweeping the chairmanship seat during the just concluded local government election in the state. The minister made the disclosure last night while featuring on Channels Television's Politics Today, insisting that he was never involved in anti-party activities. Meanwhile, prior to the elections, Wike and Fubara have been at loggerheads over control over the political structure of Rivers. I'll be muting here in a bit. Mao, I know you've been following development from Rivers. So much to say, but with this report and no news from Rivers State, how do you say it before we delve deeper into this issue?
This is not the best of time in Rivers State politics. Actually, no matter whatever happens, it is in an atmosphere of peace that we can experience development. In Rivers State, when you look back at the history of Rivers State, it's been a Niger Delta state that has witnessed a lot of warlords springing up at various times. And this is not unconnected with the history of the leadership in that state.
In the state.
But current developments calls for peace in that state. Now, the gulf between the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, and the sitting governor, Sim Fubara, is getting wider and wider day in, day out. PDP has faced implosion in that state as a political party. With this implosion, does it mean that they should allow the breakdown of law and order? And does it mean that power should be static? What we should learn from the development in Rivers as of today is that no matter whoever you are at one stage or the other, power is transient.
Power is transient.
And no mortal can play God at all times. You can only play God while you are in the position and being endowed for that period of time. But with time, it will change.
It will change.
And that is the development happening in Rivers as of today.
All right. So with what you just said, Mao, you know of the truth. All that is happening, it's crystal clear. It's almost clear to the blind and audible to the deaf that what is happening is still power play.
It's just a power game. And if you look at the history, the background history of the people that constitutes most part of the Niger Delta region, especially Rivers, they have an history of gangsterism, of bringing up youth and lording themselves over whoever becomes most powerful. Through conquest, through availability of ammunition. You get the point there. But the world order is changing fastly. That we must go, we must evolve with the world order beyond this militarization policy.
All right. So much to say, but I'll get back to you, Mao. Before I switch the mics to Alhaji Bayomi Akinlolu, I want Mr. Kinwomi to quickly add his voice to these. I don't know if you saw clips from River State. People coming out boldly with weapons. Like, some individuals are so relaxed. I don't know. I had to communicate some of my friends at that side of our river saying, hope people are safe. And they told me confidently, we are used to it. Having weapons, and it's almost normal. No pump action guns, and to them is nothing. Now, the question that comes to mind is this. All of this that is happening is happening almost immediately after the withdrawal over the security apparatus, especially the Nigerian Police Force, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force. People like myself are kind of curious. Why withdraw these individuals at this time? Is it that they got privileged information that there will be maybe attacks? That is a question on one side. And all of this, if you're to react, do you think it's good enough for the security control of a state to be from the center? Because sincerely, should Fubara have full control of the security apparatus, I don't think issues would degenerate to the level it did on Monday.
Well, I think it's a matter of maturity and the way our politicians are behaving these days. Someone like me that's advocated for state police, I have the change of mind about it. Because it's a pity when we have apparatus of state in our command and we just use it the way we like. Now, the withdrawal of police from local government in Yoruba State has been an issue before the local government election. There was a time Fubara appointed some caretaker committee chairman. That was when the police was taking position, and at that time the position of even the River State governor was that they are trying to oppress, they are not allow the people that he appointed to have access to the local government secretariat. And even before the election, there was another assuming judgment that INEC should not release the data for the River State Electoral Commission, and
it's almost normal thing. It happened in Kwara.
Yes, and police said because of that they will not participate in the election. Even at the time, police barricaded the office of Rivers Electoral Commission.
Yes.
So it was the governor himself that said, okay, for the decision not to hold, you have to kill me.
You have to kill me.
So, and as a matter of fact, the issue of state conducting election was because of that judgment of Supreme Court. All of them are doing this because of the allocation of local government. So just a pity that those that are paying that politics, and after the withdrawal of the police, we have mayhem all over the place.
Everywhere.
Just a pity that we have people that are not state actors that have access to a lot of weapons.
Sincerely.
That is not, and I will expect federal government to mop up most of these weapons. In broad daylight, we saw the video people carrying and they are messing them up from people. And these people will go scot-free whether we like it or not. So and I will expect our to do more in mopping up of this weapon. As a pity that people that are in power are just using their power the way they like, and we are just have institutions that are not strong. We just have personality. It's a pity.
We'll get back to this very issue. Okay, we got a report of about 5 dead, and also, if not mistakenly, about 4 to 5 local government secretariat raised after the local government polls over the weekend. We have to pay some bills. After this quick commercial break, we'll be back to proceed with the conversation. It's still the Editor's Hangout, reaching you live and direct from Diamond 88.7 FM. Please stay tuned.
Mai gida, yau ce ranar allurar mu ta yi wa kai fa. Mai gida, da wannan allurar dakatar da haihuwa babu fargaban ɗaukar ciki. Akwai hanyoyi 3 masu sauƙi na yi wa kai allurar. Na 1, zan bincini cinyata. Na 2, zan yi allurar a wurin da na bincini cinyata. Na 3, za mu iya jin daɗin kariya har na wata 3.
Anya ba zafi?
Yar ƙaramin allura ce mai gida.
Har kin yanzu nan da sauri haka?
Ai na faɗa maka mai gida.
Domin neman ƙarin bayani game da allurar yi wa kai, ku kira mu kyauta akan layin Airtel idan aka danna 421 sannan 30, ko ku ziyarci shafin mu ta yanar gizo a discoveryourpower.org. Wannan sako ya zo muku ne daga ƙungiyar lafiya ta iyali tare da haɗin gwiwar ma'aikatan lafiya ta tarayya.
Oh boy, Bajaj Boxer get better wolf this October.
Not be too.
You fit get her for only 1,060,000 naira.
This one na better.
Yes, so sharply visit the dealer when near you pass to enjoy them. Offer they available while stock last.
Follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 87FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
Yes, it's exactly 90 minutes past 11. And you're still on to Diamond 88.7 FM. It's the editor's hangout. I'm Joseph Emeribe. Have live Mr. Michael Abiodun Olarewaju and also Mr. Abiodun Akiwumi and Alhaji Bayomi Akinlolu. We started our conversation looking into the aftermath of the local government polls in Rivers. Yes, there are reports of people losing their lives. No government properties worth of, if not billions of naira, razed to the ground due to unrest and people not choosing the path of peace and civility. We are talking extensively on these issues. Mr. Kiwumi was saying something, but before I get back to you, I want Mr. Alhaji Akinlolu to quickly add his voice to these issues. So much to say about Rivers. But first and first, are you surprised with the development from that side of the country?
I wasn't in any way surprised, and like I do say, it is a sad commentary on Nigerian democracy. And what has been exercised in my mind is the fact that this important question, when will public interest, common good, will be on the front burner.
On the front burner.
It has always been about ego problems, somebody having issue with this, and you want to show that you're superior to the person, and you have access to control of institutions, and you find a way of meandering, and the next thing you do is you use such institutions to oppress or to ensure that things go your way. So what I would say is important for all of us is to emphasize the need for us to strengthen the institutions. And once such institutions are strengthened, it will be very difficult for anyone to find a way of controlling such institutions in a way that will suit their parochial interest, I would say. And it is not strange. It happened. It actually began what Chairman Mao called political implosion in the PDP. Started during Amechi era, when he already got the party nomination. He was supposed to stand as a candidate, and during the zonal rally, the then President Olusegun Obasanjo said his nomination had been legged, and we had Celestine Omeya, imagine as his replacement, and since then it has always been one issue or the other in that state, and like I said, it has always been about somebody and someone having ego problems, and not about how do we ensure that we change things for the better in River State. That has never been on the front burner. It has always been, Amechi had issue with Omeya, Odili, Wike having issue with Amechi, then it is Wike and Fubara. So it has never, at any point in time been about the common good, the public interest. So that is what I will say. It is not too good.
Okay, Alhaji, before I switch the mics to the way of Mao, what comes to mind is this. I don't know if you followed the interview or the live appearance of Wiki on air yesterday. He said something, but his whole reaction still, he's still speaking in defense that he's not involved in all of the unrest in River State. That is not involved. That you can't blame him for what is happening in Rivers. Instead, he's saying the man in power over there, that is the governor, Fubara, is more or less the reason why what is happening in Rivers. And we all know the writing in the wall is quite different from the body language of Wiki. All of this back and forth. Power in the center are still kind of mute at the moment. People are saying maybe it's high time for Mr. President to say something again to douse the tension. But all of this, we have the local government, Eleme, Ikwere, Emoha, and Eche raised. We have people losing their lives already. So much to say. But who do we blame for all that is happening, all that has happened in the past in Rivers? I don't know. Maybe you help us go down memory lane. This is not the first time, powers that be are locking horns, going separate ways, especially in River State. And why is it happening?
Well, thank you, the High Command. It is not strange, and it is not something that we have not been used to have our political leaders not living by what they say. It is just like the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. Because everyone knows that whatever is happening in River State was being remote controlled, through the influence or directly by the Minister of FCT, and everyone. It was something that everyone knew that, okay, he was the one that installed him. He ensured his emergence as the PDP candidate. And even at that time, he couldn't actually appear in public. He had to be kept in the government house, where he eventually got immunity and he got sworn in. So we knew that Wike is the one controlling the PDP structure in River State and control even the APC structure in the River State, and that was why the governor had to ask his supporters to move to APP.
Yes, APP.
Where they eventually won the election. So the point is this.
Okay.
We will always emphasize it until and unless the institutions are strengthened. Look, Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, he was seeking re-election. He lost.
Yes.
But he insisted that he didn't lose.
Yes.
And he would have retained and ensured that he remains in power if the institutions aren't strengthened.
Okay.
So it is the institutions that we need to strengthen. Once the institutions are strengthened, imagine a sitting governor, Governor Fubara, accusing the Inspector General of Police that without mincing words, he accused him directly of being biased. When you already have the opinion that the IG is biased, and whatever he says, whatever his action, you will read minutes to it.
I'll get back to you. Hello.
Good morning.
This is Rotimi from Moro.
All right, Mr. Rotimi, you have the floor. Please make it brief.
I want to tell you something. To be in Nigeria and government, you have to be strong. You got to have the strength. Let us tell the truth. Capacity is there. If you don't have the capacity, the strength, and the ability to do this thing, you're a failure. And that is what is happening in the River State. This is my space. It's prepared now. It's fairly prepared for all, and thank God, God is working out for things is working out for him. Let you face the reality. There are some parties who have been, existing for the past 25 years. They cannot win single local government election. He created APP or whatever he did. He gets all the local government, and that's how he started. When he get this thing, normally when he gets to 24, you just have to advise Wike to please stay away from River State government affair. That is the problem. And we are talking to you. Listen, I am a member who have been advocating that Mr. President should talk. He failed to talk. He does all this something. When he was Edo governor, you know where he is. And when he's in River State now, you know where he is. He always dodge the business, and he's supposed to be involved in all the kind of talk all these things. We cannot be, in Nigeria. Don't be a godfather to anybody because of the devil, unless we fail. Thank you so much. God bless you.
We sincerely appreciate your stance on this. Thank you so much, Mr. Rotimi from Uru. Before I get to you, I want Mao, I want to quickly react to this last call. He's indirectly indicting Mr. President. That Mr. President ought to have said something. Why should he choose to pitch his tent with a camp leaving the others? You're Mr. President first before your party.
Let me be frank with you. The whole crisis in Rivers is around 2027 election. Power is transient.
Power is transient, yes.
But power is strong and intoxicating.
It intoxicates, yes.
You see, politicians, they only think about power.
Yes.
And they think about elections. They don't think about what are the uses they have been able to put power to. They don't think about the masses they are using their power to control. They think about acquisition of that power. Then acquisition of wealth to follow the power. And that is one of the strongest in affecting the political landscape of Nigeria as of today. The whole basis of crisis in Rivers and Kano, to a large extent, is based on the permutations for 2027. And if care is not taken, those saddled at the center of power may lose everything. Because once they ignite too much crisis in Rivers, these are people that have been involved in a lot of wars or attritions in the past. If they go back to the underground, as they were doing before the coming of President Yar'Adua that brought an end to their militarization in the Niger Delta, it may not augur well for the economy of Nigeria. And it may not augur well for political development, because economics and politics goes hand in hand.
Yes.
And we pray there be no military intervention in Nigerian political affairs anymore. They should tread softly. They should think about the masses rather than power.
All right. You listening can be a part of this, okay? We will be opening the studio lines pretty more. Yes, moving forward. 0913-6556-952. You listening can be a part of the conversation. We are still talking Rivers politics and development from Rivers. You can as well send your reactions via WhatsApp 0913-6556-864. These are the lines to reach us this great morning. Go straight to the point. Be as brief as possible. Yes, and when making your stance, please no use of abusive words or inciting statement on that platform. You can also join us on all our social media plugs at Diamond 88.7 FM. We need to go for another quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll proceed with the program. Please stay tuned.
Ìfẹ́ mi ẹni lọ́jọ́ ìfúnni lábẹ́rẹ́ wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pẹ̀lú abẹ́rẹ́ aládàágún fún ìdáàbòbò ara ẹni yìí a lè ṣeré ìfẹ́ fóṣù mẹ́ta láìsí fòyòyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀.
Bí báwo?
Máa fa ẹran itan mi máa sì gábẹ́rẹ́ yìí sórí itan tí mo fà káde máa gbádùn ara wa lọ fóṣù mẹ́ta nìyẹn.
Abẹ́rẹ́ kẹ̀ ṣé yẹn wà nínú ẹ̀?
Kò séwu ìfẹ́ mi abẹ́rẹ́ tíntínní ni bí eléyìí.
Àkíkà ó ti gún kódà ó mìíràn rárá.
Ṣé bí mo sọ fún ẹ?
bó o bá fẹ́ lábẹ́rẹ́ aládàgún fúngbà àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ìlera fúngbà ní níyànjú fàlàyé nípa àwọn ọ̀nà mìíràn láti bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ ẹ̀rìn èjì ọ̀kan lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí airtel kó o dẹ̀ tẹ ọgbọ̀n tàbí kó o lọ sórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára discoveryourpower.org. ìpolówó yìí wá látọwọ́ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó ń bójútó ìlera ẹbí Society for Family Health pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń bójútó ètò ìlera.
Rep Túnjí Ọláwìyí Àjùlọ òpin ti tún gbé pọ́ńtọ́ yọmọ ìrọ̀rùn dé o. Ọ̀tẹ̀ yìí tún gbòòrò yàtọ̀. Àyẹ̀wò àti iṣẹ́ abẹ ọ̀fẹ́ fáìsàn ìdàndán ojú fáwọn ènìyàn gúúsù Kwara. Free cataract screening and medical surgery outreach lápè. Ọjọ́ méjì gbáko ló fi máa wáyé. Fáwọn ènìyàn ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ méjèèje ní gúúsù Kwara. Ìgbésẹ̀ ẹyinjú àánú yìí lórí bẹ́ẹ̀ látàrí ìfarajìn aṣòfin Túnjí Ọláwìyí Àjùlọ òpin. Sígbàyé gbádùn òun ìdàgbàsókè ọrọ̀ ajé àtọwọn amúlùdùn ẹ̀yẹ èèyàn wa ní Kwara South. Lára ẹ̀ ní lílẹ̀tọ̀ sétò ìlera tó péye. Àfojúsùn Rep Àjùlọ òpin ní dídá ìríran kedere padà fẹ́ẹ̀yàn tó lé ní 150 tó nípèníjà ìdàndán ojú cataract láti pàṣẹ àyẹ̀wò àti iṣẹ́ abẹ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ọjọ́ Thursday ọjọ́ 10 àtọjọ́ Friday ọjọ́ 11 oṣù 10. Ní ẹjẹ́ àjọ pàdé láago 10 òwúrọ̀. Lólùléeṣẹ́ ìpolongo Àjùlọ òpin campaign headquarters. Òmùaran láti wá ṣe alábàápàdé àwọn dókítà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ olùtọ́jú ojú. Nísàmì ìfarajìn right honourable Túnjí Ọláwìyí Àjùlọ òpin tó ń sojú ẹkùn ìdìbò Èkìtì ìsìn Ìrẹ́pọ̀dún Òkè Ẹ̀rọ nílé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú ṣòfin ilẹ̀ wa. Right honourable Túnjí Ọláwìyí Àjùlọ òpin okú àfọmọnìyàn ṣe.
Oh boy, Bajaj Boxer get better wolf this October oh.
Hey, not be to
you fit get her for only 1,60,000 naira.
Hey, this one na better oh.
Yes so, sharply visit the dealer when near you pass to enjoy am. Offer dey available while stock last.
Mai gida, yau ce ranar allurar mu ta yi wa kai fa. Mai gida, da wannan allurar dakatar da haihuwa babu fargaban ɗaukan ciki. Akwai hanyoyi 3 masu sauƙi na yi wa kai allurar. Na 1, zan bincini cinyata. Na 2, zan yi allurar a wurin da na bincini cinyata. Na 3, za mu iya jin daɗin kariya har na wata 3.
Anya ba zafi?
Yar ƙaramin allura ce mai gida.
Har kin yanzu nan da sauri haka?
Ai na faɗa maka mai gida.
Domin neman ƙarin bayani game da allurar yi wa kai, ku kira mu kyauta akan layin Airtel idan aka danna 421 sannan 30 ko ku ziyarci shafin mu ta yanar gizo a discoveryourpower.org. Wannan sako ya zo muku ne da ƙungiyar lafiya ta iyali tare da haɗin gwiwar ma'aikatan lafiya ta tarayya.
The sounds, the vibes, good talking, conversations. You can have it all on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. Diamond 88.7 FM, we've got you.
Yes, we're glad to still have you there. It's 26 minutes before noon, and you're still on to Diamond 88.7 FM. In case you're wondering, this is Editor's Hangout, reaching you live and direct from Diamond 88.7 FM. And I'm Joseph Emeribe. We are closing in on this very first issue with development from rivers. But we still need to look at something very, very germane. And this is with regards the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, where people are bold to even go around with weapons. Mr. Kiwumi, you were saying something when we were given the mics to talk before now. Looking at these, I don't know. I know we have, I think, more or less like an agency under the presidency, though they are not making it public yet, that there's an agency seen to the mopping up on moving of light weapons in society. Are these agencies of government doing enough?
Well,
or is there something that needs to be done?
As we have said earlier,
that's yet to be done.
What you have is institutions that are not strong. So the working of the institution will be determined by the person that is in power. Look at the example of EFCC. When Manano Ribadu was there and Obanjo was there, he has all the power. We see how effective it was. Even hearing that name, there was a place in Nigeria. They even heard that name that it's called the Nigeria State. There was a department, the classroom they was building in the midnight. In less than 2 weeks, they finished it. Because I already collected the money, but they had that the man is coming. Though he did not show up.
Yes.
But that was how that thing was effective. But since he left, what happened to that institution? It's not as strong as it used to be. What we have presently is we have institutions and we have people that are not that strong. But if they are strong, we see that most of those people that are acting that response, they will have one affiliation with one political party or one politicians or the other. So and you see them carrying weapons openly and nothing will happen. We see those that are called some labor leaders. Because then you see weapons in their hands. They'll be moving around, even threatening people from another tribe. One in Labor Lagos, someone that was not speaking with government was saying that if you don't vote for and people are seeing him, he's even a public figure carrying on this thing, but nobody will do anything. We even see police protection with people that are not even state actors that carry weapons all around. So these are issues that we have, and if we are not till our politicians, as Alaja said, carry their power, the national interest above their personal interest, this thing will not happen, and that's why all decisions are not working. Now, even police, someone that. Remember the time they have Amotekun in Osun? They said they don't have the power to carry sophisticated weapons. And these are weapons that we have in terms of bandits and even those that are not actors. So, and they move around with freely. So I will advise maybe we should, I don't know how we can strengthen all these institutions to make sure that, because if this weapon continue, that's why we have crisis in those states. And these are the ones that we see. Other states too, where we have things like this. So I will advise these agents to make sure that they mop all these weapons. People that are having weapons without license, just try and.
I know your life, your name and where you're calling from.
The EFCC you are talking about. Maybe this man, he calls himself a national lawyer. Why all this alapa law is going on? He knows he's a lawyer now. Can he do the work of a lawyer? Get rid of all this that certain state is sitting down. He called himself a lawyer. He's studying overseas. You know what he does? He doesn't know what to do. They know what they are doing. They are just slack in the action. That is the problem.
I guess this is Bamidele from afar. Politics of interest. Is it either my interest or nothing? I'm still getting back to you, Mr. Kinwomi. When you see APP, that is Action People's Party, in a state government ruled by the People's Democratic Party, having APP at the subnational, that is at government at the local councils. I don't know. With all of this that's happening, politics of interest, politics of ideology, And do you think it's healthy and good for us?
It's not good, and
at
that's
this
why. And that one
stage of our nation.
We have we have parties. We have the governors controlling the political parties, and even some people that have the money. Because under normal circumstances, governors should not be the leader of the party in the states. So, but because the governor know that the structure of the PDP in Rivers is under the FCT minister. And that's why at least they cannot control the activity of that party. Move to another party, and for you to understand what they know.
Then why can't he move to another party?
Former president, former candidate of APC in PDP in last election.
Okay.
He applauded the action. That he's happy that that party won. Because know that it's PDP in disguise. And these are things that happen in Nigeria. We know that our politicians
floating several political parties.
It's not about ideology. We know some people in the past that use accord for their personal interest. So they have it like that, and don't be surprised that tomorrow that party will be metamorphosed to PDP. And maybe PDP we have moved to political center because at times we just all those normal political parties see their name. They are now working for PDP.
All right. I want Alaji to quickly react to this. Alaji,
the matter is the pity that's what they have in.
Do you remember in Kwara those days when we see Okere party and is it a code?
ACPN.
Is ACPN the Okere, right?
Yes.
All of this, I don't know. Of a truth, should your party be having issues, you're free to, at least you're having enough reasons to decamp. With what is happening, the PDP are not taking sides with whether or not to show Wike the exit door, allowing him to foment more troubles in the PDP. Now, a sitting governor having opposition, I don't know, quote unquote, has government at the subnational level. All of this that is happening. I want you, the way we play politics here and in other climes, how do you see it? We don't have so much time, but I want you to just add your voice to it before we move to the next issue before us.
Well, each system, each country has its own peculiarities, and the one that is peculiar to Nigeria is what we're talking about. But in actual sense, if you have an evidence of intra-party conflict at the national level, that is where you can defect. That's where you can move from one party.
But what is happening? Isn't it obvious? Isn't it enough time? Okay.
In the PDP, there is only one national working committee. So let's assume that we have like two. We have rival. National working committees. That should be an alibi for someone to.
I know you got the report from the former presidential candidates of the PDP applauding what happened in Rivers.
Yeah.
So isn't that at least saying APP is ours?
That's like Mr. Akumi said. It is a sad comment for Nigerian democracy, and we actually what we're doing is, I will call it, is. Niger democracy, not really democracy, not really the representative democracy.
Of the true democracy.
In the real sense of it, because you find a situation where someone would just say, okay, what we want to achieve is, I want my boys to be the one that will emerge as, chairman of local government, go to any party and will win. And you even have the chairman of the Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, attending the swearing ceremony to show solidarity. Because some people in Wike's camp were saying that it will not stand, that the election outcome will be challenged, that there was a court injunction, stopping, the Electoral Commission from going ahead with the elections.
We have less than 20 minutes before we call it a day on the program. Of a truth, when two elephants fight, the ground is the worst hit. Now, looking at it, the impact, government properties being raised. And these properties are not properties of just a few millions. These are properties of going to billions of naira, loss of lives. The impact of this on the people of Rivers. Lives have gone. And as we see it, they say anarchy is kind of still looming in the state. And Fubara, directly or indirectly, will be distracted with all that is happening. I don't know. But if you're to recommend, what do you think will be the way forward?
Look, after every war, there should be dialogue. The warlords should come to round table and tow the path of peace for the development of Rivers State and development of Nigeria as a nation.
They should toe the path of peace. All right. I want us to move to the next issue. Mao, I know you're already signaling me. No, let's go to Cameroon. Let's move from Nigeria to Cameroon. Paul Biya. So much to say about him, but I don't know. When I opened up the conversation with that quote from Paul Biya, I was like, really? He spoke about democracy. A 91-year-old still in power. We don't know if he's alive or dead. I must say this on air. Permit me to just use the word. But his boys his spokesperson have come to public domain saying our president is hale and is hearty. Mao, let me start with you.
Yes.
I know you've been following Cameroon.
Yes. Feelers from Cameroon
says
that from the government circle it's been confirmed that Paul Biya is dead. And if you look at the whole scenario, Paul Biya became president in 1982 after the resignation of the late president Ahmadu Ahidjo. And since that 1982, he has remained in power. He is, as of today, globally, the longest serving
head of state,
non-royal head of state. He has remained a major figure in the economic and monetary community of Central Africa. Cameroon shares border with Nigeria. And that is one of the more reasons why you see most of the Renaissance movements, which are predominantly the English-speaking opposition, they run down to places like Calabar and some other areas of refuge in Nigeria.
Northeastern Borno State.
Yes, this is a man that his administration has been accused of suppressing political opposition, grievous human rights abuses, and authoritarianism. Even the Cameroon Concord newspaper, as of today, suggested that maybe his own brother-in-law will become an interim president. Untembani Ukeli will possibly become the interim president, pending when his own son, Frank Emmanuel Biya, will become president. That this is the arrangement. But I'm sure the opposition group, especially the Cameroon Renaissance movement, are ready to challenge any undemocratic move.
Yes, so much to say. Questions that really comes to heart at this time. Is democracy really working for us? That's one thing. To say like being maybe Paul Biya, we are seeing development strides in Cameroon. Maybe I would have supported him hook, line, and sinker. Let him remain. Let's even have monarchy. Let's see how maybe a system of government quite different from presidential democracy. Let's see how it works, and let's see if it's really better for us than. But we're seeing something quite different. People are even saying the man in question, Paul Biya, his wife is the woman behind the veil. And that is why we're not really getting too much, maybe in terms with regards to information about his whereabouts. People, right now, the development I got this morning confirms that he is in Geneva, that is Switzerland, receiving that is hale and hearty in Switzerland.
There have been a lot of reports that he's sick and is in Switzerland. Some say he's been treated in France. Even almost all the opposition figure has come out to call those in power to be transparent about the state of the health of Paul Biya. But none of them has been able to come out to the public and to the public domain about the state of health of Paul Biya.
Paul Biya, 91 years.
But surprisingly, as we've said, he has so much over centralized power around his own presidency that there is that everything surrounds himself and his immediate advisors. And almost all his family members are within the rank of his advisors too.
All right. I want Mr. Kiwumi, looking at this development from Cameroon, are you surprised?
Well, I'm not surprised, and this is not the first time Paul Biya will.
It's still a rumor. Paul Biya is still alive. This is not the
first time Paul Biya will disappear in the public.
It's not the first time.
In the past, the rumor that he's dead. Later, we see him in public again.
I don't know whether you got the video where he couldn't even speak coherent. He couldn't compose a sentence.
Some of the supporters are even clamoring for him to contest again next year. Cameroon is having election in 2025, and the last time he contested, if we will see his rally, he cannot walk. They have to carry him from the light side. It's not LD. And it's a pity that most of the Anglophone African countries, they used to have this satire syndrome. And they look like of Lasingbe Yademba of Togo too. He died, he replaced with his son. It has always been like that. Even we have Lawrence Gbagbo in Cote d'Ivoire, satire syndrome. And it's a pity. And the angle I want to look at it is the so-called superpower, the so-called advocates of democracy. They will sit down there, France, England, US, and be accusing other countries of and these are someone like Paul Biya. These are people I would expect them to even clamor for his removal in office. But if all this energy that they use to remove Gaddafi, if it was the same energy they have been used, we will not have this tyrants in Africa.
It's tight,
and you call that most of the West African countries where we have all this military coup. Those are one of them are all these Anglo African countries, Mali, Niger, Francophone, French-speaking African countries, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and it's a pity that they sit down, they don't not say anything. But when they say, and it's a matter, that's why it's a matter of interest, and that's why it's a pity that those that advocate for democracy, what they have is all this what I call two-legged sword. So they will talk about someone that's not in their interest. Paul Biya has been praising the interest of France.
He has.
That's why they don't be saying anything.
Yes.
And that's why whether that maybe it's in France or it's in Switzerland. So and whenever someone among them is not pitting the tent with France, that's why someone like Thomas Sankara, that guy you have problem with France, they have to eliminate him. So and it's a pity, and that's why it's pity me. It's also paying me when an African leader will be looking forward to all these people. So we look for their validation whenever you become president, you go to France or you go to England to lose their validation. And these are people that do not like us. And that's how I'm looking at it. They keep quiet all this while. This man that died in Nigeria last year, Motoflika, has been there for more than 10 years. They will not say anything because they are serving their interest. So, and it's a pity.